Can you say Merry Christmas? Hey you guys, welcome back, or if you're new to this channel, welcome. So I thought since we're at the end of the year now that it would be kind of fun to go back through my last few videos and give you some updates on the plants that I've showed you. Mostly so that I can show you that the methods that I showed do indeed work. So for those of you who don't know, my channel's quite new. I only just started a few months ago. So I thought it would be fun to go back and show some of the plants from some of those first videos. So my very first ever video on Anthurium rerouting, my Hoya haul, the moss pole tutorial, just give you an update on some of those plants. So back in August, I put out my first ever video, and it's a video that I filmed for a friend who was rerouting an Anthurium, and since I had experience, I figured I would show my successful methods. And that is what started off this whole channel. So that video was on rerouting my Anthurium clarinerviums, and I had two different Anthuriums. I had my larger 2-leaf Anthurium that had completely lost all of its roots due to root rot. It was an import, and I bought it off of a seller who had put it into soil, and the soil was poor draining soil, and less than a week, everything was completely gone. I was left with a stump. In that video, I had two different Anthurium clarinerviums. So I had this bigger one and this smaller one. Now you'll notice the smaller one already is putting out a new leaf. So for starters, I want to show we've got some really good roots going on now. You can actually see those really healthy roots coming in and all the way along here. In fact, they're even all coiled up at the bottom. We're gonna need a repotting in the spring. Now I said a new leaf was coming in. Unfortunately, we have a little bit of a strange leaf coming in. We still love it. It's still a beautiful leaf. It's just a bizarre leaf. I grow a lot of Anthuriums, but it's not often that this happens, actually. I've never had a leaf come in so messed up. So if anybody knows why leaves would be coming in bizarre, feel free to leave a comment, but other than that, the leaf feels really, really healthy. It still actually hasn't hardened off yet. It will grow a little bit more. So you'll also notice on this leaf here, I have a bit of a shiny spot. That is my mistake. I was playing around with different bug stuff, and I put one of the sticky things up, but between the high humidity and the grow lights, it actually melted the stickiness and it dribbled on the leaf. And I'm really sad because this is a really, really pretty leaf otherwise. And I cannot, for the life of me, get this stuff off. It is on here to stay, you guys. I've tried everything and it is just in there. So let me know down below if you have a hack for getting stuff off of beautiful velvet leaves. But that is the update for the smaller Anthurium clarinervium. Now, the other Anthurium that I had showed you was this larger one. And I've got it in this pot with the stand because I keep it in the greenhouse, and this helps prop it up a little higher. Ooh, there's our roots. My goodness, they are pretty. So this guy, again, he was a stump just a few months ago, and the roots on this have been unreal. So this pot is too deep for it. I actually fill the bottom with just a large size bark chip just to help prop it up. And the roots do not mind going into the bark chip either. Such a stunning plant. Hasn't put out a new growth yet, but has put roots absolutely everywhere, so I'm sure it's coming. Anthurium clarinervium are just some of my absolute favorite plants ever. They have the most stunning foliage. It's unreal how pretty the veining is. I feel that way about like all Anthurium. I just think that they are stunning. For anyone who really loves Anthurium, clarinerviums can survive in your home. They don't need to be in a specialty greenhouse like this. It's just that they'll look the happiest in a higher humidity environment, and you won't get like super brown tips. Like the leaves are quite healthy. So that's why I do keep mine in a greenhouse. You don't have to. You can train these guys to just live in your living room, and they'll be just fine out there as well. But I just love to baby the heck out of them. So for anybody who really, really loves the look of Anthurium, but doesn't necessarily want to put in this kind of effort, don't worry, you can still grow these guys in your living room. Stunning plants, I can't recommend them enough. I know they're not cheap, but come on, they are so pretty. So there was the update from video number 1. Okay, now video number 2 was a Hoya haul, and I'll give you updates on some of those plants. And if you're wondering how they've grown so fast, it's 100% these grow lights. So these Fiat electric grow lights that I've talked about a number of times, they sun stress these Hoyas to perfection, and they also help them grow really, really quickly. It's definitely that enhanced blue light spectrum. It really, really helps. So this is that Hoya callistophila, and I will insert an image. And if I'm being honest, I even killed off the new growth tip by accidentally forgetting to water this for a little while, and it's still grown this much. Like, it's doing great. This one just caught my eye because it looks like it belongs in Jurassic Park or something. It is so cool. So there is an update on the Hoya callistophila. Then I had also bought a Hoya Mathilde the same day, and here it is now. You can see it has grown again so much. It's doing really, really well. These things were all, again, just like a couple of leaves when I first got them a few months ago. And now you can see they're doing great. They're really, really close to the grow lights in the greenhouses. You can see these Hoyas back here. I grow them right up near the grow lights. It does tend to dry them out quite quickly, so I find that I really have to give them a good soaking, but holy cow, amazing growth for just such a short period of time on these Hoyas. And then I had also got my dream plant, and forgive him for being really, really jammed up in here. I've already made a ton of cuttings because I can't wait to get this plant out there. It has grown, again, it was just a few leaves when I got it. It has grown like crazy. It's beautiful. It's so cool. But there again, another glowing recommendation for these grow lights. I know that that light pink glow that it gives isn't everybody's favorite, but it's worth it, you guys. The growth is incredible. Like, I can't even recommend it enough. It is so good. And I have other top of the line grow lights as well that I'll actually touch on one of them at the end of this video. But these grow lights in that cabinet with Hoyas, if you love Hoyas, Fiat electric, full spectrum, blue enhanced, I'll link them below. Okay, I forget what order I did these videos in, but I think moss pole was next. So in one of my previous videos, I did a moss pole tutorial, and I've also done a moss pole extension tutorial. So moss pole tutorials, actually, that's the Pinetti partita back there. It hasn't really grown a whole lot, but it's not inside the greenhouse, so it's just experiencing regular growth. I think it's putting out one new leaf now. Nothing amazing, but this philodendron Melano is doing insane. So he had just a regular height pole up to here, and in the moss pole extension video, I extended it to here, and he is already grown to the top of that. And I swear that was not that long ago. Like, none of my videos are that old, but this especially, I don't know how this happened. He did put out, again, one kind of bummed leaf, but I seem to find that on Melanos, this is not uncommon. I don't know the reason for it. He's really happy and healthy. He just put out one strangely shaped leaf, and he's putting out another beautiful new leaf right now. New Melano leaves come out in like a really cool, very like fall looking color. Super autumn tones to that, but beautiful little plant, doing incredible. I'll already need to extend this again really soon. And following up on those moss pole tutorials, I've had people ask in the comments, do the bobby pins rust? What do you do when the plant gets too big for the bobby pins? And if you are looking at this, I actually don't have in any of the bobby pins anymore. I only keep them in for a couple of weeks. So this guy is, oops, well, there we go. At least now you get to see. They become fully affixed to these moss poles. They root into the pole so quickly. So you do not need those bobby pins in for very long, just to help hold it for long enough that it can grab hold itself. Like down here, the lower one, it's solidly in. I can't move it. So all along that stem, he is fully rooted in, except for where he was just recently rooted in and I totally pulled him off just now. Now, in another video, I talked about beneficial bugs and I wanted to give an update on that. So for me personally, I love pirate beetles. For if you have any kind of an active infestation, pirate beetles are amazing. But these guys are a great preventative. So I like Cucumaris, and these are Swirskyis. Now, Swirskyis are better in higher humidity, so I do use them in the greenhouse. Now, these are so cheap. They're like $1 something Canadian per little baggie, and you just clip them onto your plants. So in the greenhouse, I just clip them onto plants. And about every 6 to 8 weeks, I'll just buy another couple and toss them on the plants for a week or two, and they release predator mites. So this one that's on the bag right now is Swirskii. So if you have any soft-bodied bugs, that will just give you such peace of mind, and you just know that then you aren't going to have to deal with another active infestation. So way better than spraying stuff all over your leaves that's clogging up the pores and doing all kinds of stuff. Those predator mites, beneficial bugs, just creating a beautiful little ecosystem of bugs you can barely see, if at all, inside your greenhouse. For anybody wondering, this is a Philodendron splendid. It is a cross between a Melano and a Verrucosum. Beautiful plant, like so cool. One of my absolute favorites. It has also actually been in videos before when it was this single one little leaf, and now here we are a couple months later and he's working on his 4th leaf. Beautiful plant. And another update. So we just recently did those videos on Alocasia, the dividing, finding the bulbs, all that stuff. And this was that one baby leaf that we had separated off of the mom in the part 2 video. And I wanted to just show you that this new baby leaf is pregnant. Look at that. We're gonna have another new little leaf coming off this guy right away. That's why it's kind of curling under a little bit. Sometimes when you propagate or take cuttings off of plants, their oldest leaf will just slowly start to die and you'll think, oh my God, I'm killing it. But it's just giving up so that it can give life to something else most of the time. Check for new life before you think that you're murdering it, because I've been nothing but good to this little Frydek and he's starting to curl under. It's because of new baby back here. The same thing applies to that splendid. This whole leaf was starting to turn super yellow, so much so that I gave it like the tightest haircut ever. You can barely even tell, but it was way bigger before. I cut it to make it look like it was just one of the leaves, but it was turning really olivey and it was totally going brown on the edges, and it was no fault of mine. It was just preparing to put out all of this new growth. And I'll give you a little IKEA greenhouse update. So all 3 of the IKEA greenhouses that I have, the tall Milsbo, the Detolf, and this wide Milsbo, are all still operating and doing great. I haven't run into any issues. I have seen a few issues that other people have run into, which is the pegboard molding. So I never sprayed my pegboard, but it has not molded at all. I think, and this is just me assuming, but I believe that mine is okay because I'm not using a humidifier and I have a lot of fans going. So using just a fountain to help raise the humidity gives it that relative humidity, not wet humidity. So all of my pegboards, not even a hint of mold. They all look like I just installed them yesterday. They're all doing great. So another update that you can kind of see from here is that I had mentioned trying to come up with a method to shield the lights because they're quite bright when they're just facing you. And the method I came up with was 99-cent construction paper. Like one of the poster boards that you can buy at Staples or Michael's for less than $1. It's just the super cheap stuff. It hasn't bowed, it hasn't deteriorated. It's been in there for about a month now, and it just blocks you from staring directly at the bulb. But the cheapest method, I figured like maybe I'll 3D print something or try and build something. And I did this as a temporary fix and it's working in all of the greenhouses. So 99-cent fix, especially using the fountain and not a humidifier where the wetness would for sure ruin it. So another greenhouse update, people had asked, how do you water plants in there? And this helps make it convenient. Just a cheap plastic boot tray, and you can just pop all the plants out, sit it on there, water them, let them drain out on there before putting them away. Saves you from having to haul the plants all the way to the sink. So another cheap, quick, easy fix. And then also I wanted to mention, for your fountains, make sure that you're cleaning them. So every 2 or 3 weeks, whenever I kind of get around to it, I just pull both the fountains out and I give them a good vinegar soak. And then when I refill them and put them back in, I'm adding some hydrogen peroxide in with the water just to help keep them clean and keep them from getting any algae or anything building. But make sure that you're cleaning your fountains. Don't just let the water sit stagnant. You will end up with bad bacteria. So just to make sure that you're healthy, your plants are healthy, and your fountain continues to run well, just make sure that you're giving it a good cleaning. Now, the final update is on a grow light that I have talked about before, and that is on the Spider Farmer grow lights. So I have a giveaway going on over on my Instagram, and it runs until the 28th at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, where I am, for one of those beautiful Spider Farmer LED grow light panels. If you don't have something like this in your home, it is so nice to have. I actually use it in like a mini kind of a tent setup with all my baby plants, helping everything grow or rehabbing or whatever fits in there. And it performs amazing. It's probably a little bit too much for using in a greenhouse. I haven't tried, again, it's on a dimmer, so you could probably make it work, but it's really, really great for just anything and everything. So if you haven't already, definitely head on over to my Instagram at Planterior Decorator. I'll also link it in the description box down below. And thank you so much to Spider Farmer for being kind enough to help me with that giveaway. I'll also have their products linked down below so that you can go check them out yourself. And I think that that's the end of my updates. So I hope that everybody had a really good Christmas. Where I'm living, our cases are really high, so we weren't allowed to be with family, but we made it work on video calls and all that. Curbside turkey and present drop off. So we still all had a great Christmas. I hope everybody else did too. And if you haven't had a chance to yet, head on over to Crazy Plant Guy's channel. I'll also link that down below. But he asked me to come on his channel to do a holiday interview, and we had a great time, and I'm so thankful that he was kind enough to ask. So if you want to check that out, again, the link will be down below for you. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, you guys.